From Grindelwald, we headed for Brunnen, changing trains at Interlaken and Lucerne. In spite of the dismal weather, the train ride, initially along the shores of Lake Brienz and then through rural Switzerland, was pleasant and offered views of the lake, charming homes, quaint towns, and people going about their daily business. By the road snakes around the hill. Brunnen is situated snugly among other small resort towns along the coast of Lake Luzerne near Mount Rigi. Our accommodation at Brunnen was a tiny room, occupied mostly by a queen bed. Just down the street we could see a church, and beside it a rounded spire that appeared to have been forgotten in constructing the building. The next day was wet again, but we explored the town anyway under borrowed umbrellas. Walking toward the pier, we came across the Victorinex brand shop, which housed a small Swiss knife museum. Inside the museum, we joined a group listening to an explanation about Swiss knife making. We saw an incredibly huge Swiss knife and watched a short video about making the smaller versions we see everywhere. Our itinerary for the day included a boat trip to Visnau and Mount Rigi, and in spite of the rain we decided to make the trip. Boats ply the lake and inlets like water taxis, stopping here and there to pick up or discharge passengers at the charming resorts that line the lake. The weather deteriorated at Mount Rigi from merely rain into a sloppy blizzard as we neared the top of the mountain. Clouds, mist, and snow obscured the lovely views we'd heard about. So we just caught the same little train back into town. As we waited for our boat, an old paddle steamer still in service caught our attention, and another pulled into dock shortly thereafter. Before long, we were back in Brunnen with the rain and blowing wind pushing us along the street. Next day, we headed for Locarno, where we thought we might find some sun at last. We boarded the train early and glimpsed snowy mountains as we climbed toward the Goddard Pass. After going through the long tunnel, we emerged on the southern side of the Goddard Pass, where our spirits were lifted by some well-done graffiti and the sight of a pale sun breaking through the clouds. Descending toward Locarno, we saw high, elevated roads, unexpected waterfalls, a hydroelectric plant, and an appealing Swiss landscape.
It's not much water in it, though.
At Locarno, where the sun shone full and warm, we made our way to the waterfront with its splendid walkway, enjoyed by tourists and locals alike. Palm trees and tropical plants reminded us that we were in the Italian part of Switzerland and close to Italy itself. Here the language is primarily Italian, so our bits and pieces of French and German were not very helpful. Hands play an important part in Italian communication, it seems. We wandered along the colorful, busy waterfront, enjoying people, enjoying the sun, and taking delight in the sights and sounds of the Italian atmosphere. We stopped at a restaurant near the waterfront to enjoy a glass of wine and a pizza which we managed to order successfully even without speaking Italian.
Good?
Before leaving, we took a last fond look at the palm trees. Aboard the train, Colin engaged a friendly German in lively conversation about the local history. We were sorry to leave Locarno with its sunny Mediterranean flavor. When we got back to Brunnen, you guessed it, it was still raining.